Hello, it's your girl Claudia Jordan. It is Friday, and we are back with TGIF. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and all over social media. So sit back, relax, get you your Friday drink, and get ready to sip on this hot tea. What's up, Al? And what's up, Funky?
What's going on, Claudia?
Hey,
What's
hey.
going on, Claudia and Al? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Look at our vibrant colors. I love it.
It's the weekend. Just got paid. Hey, Friday night. Cha-cha-cha.
It's kind of fallish.
Is it?
Fall? Well, Al and you are, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right. Any plans for this weekend? Y'all doing anything cool?
No, I am unlocking my better self. I got my fancy glass. I'm drinking my water, minding my business this weekend.
I'm flying back to the East Coast this weekend. I'm back on campus next weekend, teaching at Bowie State University. So super excited.
Very nice, nice. I want a spa day. You know,
Okay.
I just want to massage I think I drive kind of messed up and my just shoulders. And it's so hard working 1 hour a day. You know what I mean? Like I'm just, and just, there's so much tension in my neck.
Oh, Lord.
It wasn't cute just talking about that before the show, Al. It's just
Right.
a heavy work schedule we have here.
Listen, y'all used to working. I'm not. Okay. This is listen. Some have to. Okay. This is the first time I've worked 5 days a week.
You knock it off.
I told y'all
knock
that.
it off.
I don't like.
Finally
coming
get
to
more
work
than
every
3
day.
figures in the bank, and he's just so rich, and this is so
Right.
beneath
It
him.
ain't. No, it ain't even about being rich. It's about
Did you
being
put-
freedom oriented. I just don't like being locked down.
Oh, we
daily
know that.
with
We know
anything.
that. We do know that. We don't like to check in with anyone and work for anyone. You made that very clear in several conference calls. I'm like, oh my God, he's yelling at the people.
Oh, I be quick. Yeah, y'all soulmates. I be quick to tell these
You be
people.
so out of pocket on professional conference calls.
I couldn't even.
Wait. But one time Al was, and I was like gagging. Remember that time? Well,
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
well,
Oh Jesus! I'm quick to tell the bitch I don't need the money. Okay, so
until you do. Like I
Yeah,
need
you
my
do.
money. I want all my money.
Oh,
But
shit.
okay. Are we okay? So Q, you already said that you drinking water because the other 23 hours of the day, that's when you actually really do drink. But the 1 hour with us, Al, he doesn't drink. Are you drinking?
Right.
Right.
I'm not buying any of that. I'm really not buying any of that because I won't even talk about when I spoke to him last night where he was. So
Minding my business, drinking
Right.
my water.
What was he doing, Al?
Minding my business, drinking my water.
That's a lie. We know that's all the way a lie. Because, Al, Al, you
Right.
tell us on the break. All right, let's get into the show. We have a lot to talk about before this fantastic weekend. According to a source close to Kanye West, the rapper has allegedly enforced some strict rules for his wife, Bianca Censori, to follow. Rule number 1, Bianca must never speak. And rule number 2, she's been ordered to wear whatever he tells her to wear. Are y'all surprised? Al, let's go to you first. And let's remember, Kanye West cleaned out Kim's wardrobe before they were married, and he ordered her to do the same. So, Al, what are your thoughts on this?
just all of that kind of seems weird to me. But with these antics that Kanye are having his girlfriends, because it's not his wife, these are his girlfriends, are worse than the antics of like Islamic cultures where, they're required to not speak back to their husband unless spoken to. The husband has to give them the right to speak, give them the right to go to school, give them the right to drive, give them the right to get a job. But let me tell you what I read, Q and Claudia, that is so interesting. So there's this body language expert published an article this week about Kanye and Censora's body language and what it meant. And it said that her weary glances and her blank stares is letting the public know that she has a desire to stop the outlandish behavior. Now, this is super interesting because it comes on the heels of Julia Fox's tell-all memoir in which she said, hey, he did the exact same things to me. And, not only did he tell me what to wear and when to wear it, I had a stylist, and the stylist basically styled me and didn't take any regards of what I wanted. But the best part of her tell-all, y'all, and you've got to go kind of Google this portion, is that she implied that during her time with Kanye West, there was no sexual activity at all.
Them
Well,
3 weeks.
They were
Them
together longer than that.
Them 3 weeks. I mean, I'm being facetious, but it literally was like what 90 days. I mean, she wasn't there for long. This is crazy. The things that people would do for fame. Now, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I let a rich man, you know, give me some parameters and whatnot. If I'm living,
What type of parameters, Q?
listen, if I'm living comfortably and I got the credit card, I wouldn't give a damn what the man told me to put, to be quite honest. But the not being able to speak thing, that's a bit much for me. But if I'm able to sit up on my ass all day, not do nothing, eat, shop, help my family, who gives a damn about these filthy rags? I put on whatever the hell. I wouldn't give a damn what that man told me to put on. But it don't seem like she's having fun. It seems more like she's a prisoner, and that's what makes this a little sick to me. And I'd just be curious to know why she would voluntarily subject herself to this if she's not getting happiness out of it, because no one's happy not being able to speak.
You think she gets paid, Claudia?
I don't know. They just never look happy together. Like I never see them smile. They don't look like they ever have like a good kiki. When you're with your best friend, right? You're dating or your mate is your best friend. You see people's eyes light up around each other. You see a nice, like an inside joke. You see a glance at each other, a loving look. First of all, if a man tells a woman or a man tells a man or whatever, a partner tells a partner, they don't want them to speak. They don't like you. They don't like you. He is just there for the look and the image. And I think it's really part of me feels like this whole Bianca Censori thing is to piss Kim off. She looks kind of similar with the short hair version. He's making her edgy. And it's like, you're with a shell, right? Who is that for? If you don't like talking to the person you're with, or even the person you're working with, you don't like those people. You don't like that woman. You don't care about her soul. And you might not be well. And that means both of them. Because what woman would want to be with someone that says, you can't speak? You must have very low self-esteem to be with a man that says you can't speak, in exchange to be on a boat sometimes, to have to suck D on your knees in public, and he looked like he ain't bathed in a while, and his butt is super wide down. That doesn't look like a happy, and even when she was doing it, when they got caught, it didn't look like, oh, mischievous, like, you caught me. It looked like, let me go ahead and, it looks sad. It's giving sex slave.
I don't think any of these last two choices that he chose to be public with is pissing Kim off. I don't care. Both of them look unattractive, don't have anything going on, not to the level that she did. So, I mean, Kanye, you got to try something better.
You know what I would like to see? A picture of Kanye with his kids.
Oh, yeah, that would.
They both look like they smell like milk. When you leave milk out, just for
on to the next thing, Claudia.
No, I'm not lying. All right, former rapper and now Minister Mase recently recalled the chilling moment of his whereabouts when the late Biggie Smalls was tragically killed. Now, this was interesting. Mase said, I was in a hotel. I was actually in a hotel with a young lady. I was trapped in the hotel. It was about probably like 70 or so Bloods in the hallway, and I couldn't leave my room. Mase added that he believed that Bloods were looking for more bad artists to harm. What are your thoughts on this, T, Al?
You know what? I was with him until he was asked, well, how did you get out of the hotel room? And he said a security guard had to come and get him from Bad Boy. A security guard from Bad Boy had to come get and escort him out of the hotel. That's where he lost me. And we like Mase. I like Mase. And I like this podcast for him. But how is the security guard from Bad Boy going to come into a hotel hallway with 70 Bloods or Crips, I think it said Bloods, right? And get a 5'9" guy through 70 Bloods and take him out of the hotel? Just didn't add up, didn't make sense. So I'm going to have to pass this one on to Q. Maybe he knows something a little more than I do.
Yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the story?
I don't know. It's giving very embellished. I don't know what hotels were like back then. I know the hotels that I stay at now, you can't get on the floor unless you got a key card. That's not far-fetched for somebody to get a key card to get on the floor. 70 people, that's a damn fraternity convention. I just don't understand how that many people be lingering in a hallway and hotel security wouldn't be there or calling the police. So I'm kind of with Al. And then too, one security guard, 70 bloods. If they wanted to harm you, it was just 2 against 70.
Right.
It would seem to me that they would have just shot y'all up or whooped y'all ass or whatever it is they were there to do. So I don't know, Mase. This is giving real embellished. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm not here for. Y'all are not about to re-traumatize us with these deaths of Biggie and Tupac, all right? And y'all are not about to leak slow little pieces of information. Like if everybody is sitting up on information that's relevant to the case, y'all need to give it up now so we can get past this, find whoever did it if that's what we're doing, or let sleeping dogs lie.
I'm going to say, when it comes to Mase, I would live for a Mase tell-all book when he's out of the country. I have heard a lot of things about Mase in an elevator. People
in the elevator? What do you mean?
I'm gonna tell y'all during the break, so you know what I mean. I'll be all right. But there's some stuff that I've heard about him and things that he was forced into, and I think that I would like to hear Mase's takes on his time, because the way he exited the business, you can't tell me that was just I just had a change of heart. I think something traumatizing happened to Mase. And I think a lot of people were intimidated to shut the hell up and not say anything. And now, 20 years out of it, I think people are starting to feel a little bit like, all right, let me just leak a little bit here, leak a little bit there. There's a reason, though, people ain't just coming all out with everything, though. I think people are still nervous for their well-being. You know what I mean? And the more that details that come out about this huge event in hip hop, the more it's starting to be like, it wasn't random. Well, we know it wasn't random, but I just feel like Mase has a lot of information, a lot of tea that he has withheld from us. Maybe he's embellishing 70 people, but I don't find it hard to believe that he was intimidated to stay in his room. I don't think it was, maybe it wasn't 70. Maybe he's like a big storyteller, like, oh, it was like 70 dudes. Maybe it was 10. I don't know. But I don't think Mase would just make this up. I think he was, the timing, right? There's goons in the hallway the night Biggie's murdered, right?
I can rock with that. I can rock with that.
But Mase, I think Mase has a story to tell that we would all be interested in. All right, Issa Rae's fans come to her defense after a moderator mispronounced her name during a conversation at CultureCon over the weekend. Take a look.
It's pretty incredible. You guys know a lot about Issa Rae for all the work that she's done. Issa Rae. Sorry, Issa.
All right, how do you feel about the fans speaking out for Issa? And what are your thoughts on the lady's remarks about being part of the community? Q.
I love the fans speaking up. I'm going to tell you, and Claudia, you know this as somebody who hosts events from time to time. I have an issue when hosts or moderators don't align with the guest. It's beyond obvious that this woman was moderating a panel and didn't have no idea who the hell Issa Rae was. She probably never watched Insecure, knows what Awkward Black Girl was. Because if you did, you would have known the proper pronunciation of her name. Not to say that somebody can't do their job effectively by not, knowing the subject's work. But this was very amateurish, and it was very embarrassing, in my opinion, as a professional, to have a guest sitting on your stage and not be able to know their name. But I'm glad the fans stood up, and I'm glad the lady took it. The community part kind of threw me too, because she's giving me biracial tease, but really grew up on the white side. But she was like, before y'all throw eggs at me, I'm a sister girl too. I'm down. I'm a sister girl. I know Brandy. I want to be down. I know it. That's what it was giving. Because like, I'm part of the community. Like, who
was she biracial?
I don't know. I don't know.
She's biracial.
I don't know. That's just what it's giving. Because I'm like, who says that? What Black person has ever had to say to another room, I assume, of Black people or mixed crowd people, I'm part of the community too? Like,
well, someone that looks like her, because I thought she was a white woman. So she probably has to. I thought she was a white woman. That's why I was like, oh, she don't know who she talking to. That's probably why. She probably insecure about that. Like, people probably constantly say, oh, you a white girl, you don't even know. And I'm in the community, That's what I think.
Well, she's still a white woman, because somebody who lived their life as a Black woman would not say, I'm part of the community. We just don't talk like that.
Right. I hear you. All right, Al, what do you think?
Look, there's two black women in these times that you do not mess with from our community, and that is Issa Rae and Keke Palmer. And this woman got handed her you know what, but for mispronouncing her name. But for me, you guys know I will butcher, mispronounce, enunciate incorrectly a name in 2 seconds, along with a couple of words if you give me a moment. So I totally get that. I can't be mad at her about that. But I was concerned about the way she responded. Now, she is clearly and has stated since that she is a mixed race female, one of the highest ranking at American Express. And the reason why, Q, that she was there moderating was because this was done, sponsored by American Express, allegedly. For me, I just didn't like how she tried to hide behind the culture when being corrected. Just stand corrected. Just stand corrected, because just because you are of the culture doesn't give you the right to mispronounce her name, right? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's okay. We understand the audience got a little bit like, hey, you got it wrong. Just say, look, I'm sorry. I'm completely sorry. No disrespect, Issa. You know, I too am of the culture, but you wouldn't say, y'all need to calm the heck down because I'm of the culture. And because I am of the culture, I'm allowed to make these mistakes.
Listen, I've been a host for a long time, radio, television for many, many years, and I have definitely butchered some names my damn self. And I've made that mistake with Issa's name in the beginning, because if you read it in print and didn't hear it, it does look like Issa. So this is just someone that wasn't familiar with her like she should have been. And yeah, we should take the extra time to know who these people are, especially if it's a one-off thing. I think people like us that have to do stories 5 times a week, maybe go through 8 stories a day, it should be a little bit more grace for us because we cover so many people. But if you have one event that you probably had a month to get ready for, you know, you probably should get that together. Like, even in the chat sometimes I'll hit up Justin and I go, is it, like, for example, with this, I would say, is it Issa or is it Issa? Just so I make sure. Right. But, you know, not when it's a one-time thing, like, come on, yeah. And don't get defensive. I mean, again, I've done it, Al, we've all done it, right? And you just say, you know what, I apologize. My bad. I'm sorry. That's it. And move on. You don't have to make it about the culture. We don't need that.
But you know,
people in the culture can mess up your name too. Like, you know.
Right.
What you say, Al?
Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say something, but never mind. We got to go to commercial.
All right. Coming up next, we are taking a trip to the gutters of Florida. What part isn't? Anyways. Sorry, Q. And later, we are giving you some international tea. Stay tuned.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers. The sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Welcome back to TGIF. All right, y'all. Whether good, bad, ugly, or just plain dumb, the tea is always overflowing with crazy news stories out of the beautiful state of Florida. And that's why we're giving you the 411 on What the Florida. All right, the son of a McDonald's manager has been arrested for assaulting a man in a wheelchair at his mother's job. Apparently, the man in the wheelchair was yelling at his mother, and the suspect, Andrew Childers, decided to defend her by spitting on the disabled gentleman and punching him 4 times. What are your thoughts? Before we go to Funky, let's go to Al. Before Funky
This Florida ridiculousness. Look, one thing that I can relate to for sure is if you mess with me, if you mess with my mom, you mess with me. That I totally get. But I'm going to tell you, in this case, he's doing a little bit too much. Like, don't come up. If I was a mother, I'd be like, don't come up to my job acting out like this. You did way too much, and you're putting her job into jeopardy. Like she clearly was not felt like her life was in jeopardy. She's the one jumping in between, right? And she also stated that, they know this wheelchair guy. He's been there before, causing disturbance. So in this case, although normally I will always defend my mother at any cost, but in this case, I think he just did a little bit too much.
All right, Q, what do you think? And have you been to this McDonald's?
Honey, I don't eat there. I don't eat McDonald's.
He eats Burger King.
I make too much money to eat McDonald's, honey.
Jack in the Box.
You tried
it. Burger King.
You tried
He's an Arby's girl.
Yes. No, I'm a Wendy's girl, honey. Wendy's Wendy's. Fish sandwich, and I don't eat McDonald's. That's for people on welfare. I don't eat McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
No, listen, this story, the headline of this story is all wrong. I hate when people extrapolate small little pieces of the story to make it salacious. This shit ain't got nothing to do with this man being in this wheelchair and everything to do with his ass being disrespectful, okay? Him, Roland Ray, and everybody else who rolling their ass around terrorizing people.
Oh, God.
They go around. Listen, I know people in wheelchairs. I don't know some of them. And a lot of people with disabilities, they some of the worst damn Karens because they hide behind them damn disabilities and think somebody won't beat their ass because they got one leg because they're in a wheelchair. No, you cannot come being rolling around talking to somebody all grimy and you lack the ability to adequately defend your damn self. All right, I bet his ass will act. Listen, the boy did do too much. But then again, in the grand scheme of life, he did just enough. Because I bet that man in that wheelchair think twice before he carry his ass somewhere else, talking to people any type of way. Before we move on to the next story, I was thinking about this the other day. What is going on now in the world where cussing out cashiers and service people is just on the rise?
Right.
It's just on the rise. Like, what's going on?
It seemed like the world got real disrespectful after COVID. How they talked to flight attendant, just everybody. But back to the wheelchair thing and people being disabled, we're about, everybody wants equality and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But I do think some people do hide behind that. And I think we shouldn't allow that, just because you have a disability or whatever, you shouldn't be able to be mad disrespectful because you don't have the same, someone could just take the brakes off and roll you away. Anyways, a Latin restaurant in South Florida. We're going to lead out.
Good idea.
Our governor here is in a wheelchair, Greg Abbott. I can't stand him. He's like super mean ever since he got the wheelchair. All right, a Latin restaurant in South Florida is under fire after a rodent mysteriously appeared during a health inspection. Health officials observed a live rodent fall from the shelf above the mop sink to the floor, which was close to the large oven. Funky, any thoughts on this?
Well, baby, let me tell you something. I know this restaurant personally. I'm not going to call their name because they was already on Channel 10, WPLG's Dirty Dining earlier this week because I saw it. It's a restaurant. It's a very popular restaurant down this way. And let me tell you something. I'm not going to give you the number, but it was either in the 20s or in the 30s, the amount of infractions that they got. But let me tell y'all something. With the exception of the rat, y'all know the nastier the restaurant, the better the food.
Right.
Y'all know that's kind of how it goes with these down-home restaurants. But like some of the infractions included This is another funny thing about them gloves. Who are the gloves here to protect us or the person? Because one of the infractions was the person was caught cleaning, mopping, and then putting on gloves to prepare food without washing their hands or whatever. Another infraction included somebody touching one of their bare body parts and then returning back to preparing people's food or whatever. But let me tell you something, all that's extra seasoning. Because y'all not finna sit up, Claudia, you not finna sit up and act like your Italian mammy don't scratch her head and go back to stirring up that pot. Y'all not finna pretend.
First of all, she's dead, so she doesn't.
y'all
Second of all, when she was alive, she's a very clean.
No, I said your mama, your mammy.
She don't cook. She's a horrible cook.
Y'all not finna pretend like grandma don't pick up the phone while she be cooking and going back to stirring up them greens. So listen, you know, the more unsanitary the place, the better the food. And this is a huge restaurant. Like it's a massive building, and it is very popular down here. And listen, hell, the rats been there and the food been good. We gonna keep going.
No,
he's right though. No, he's right. I used to live on Brickell. This place has been around forever. You know, it has a 3.8 rating. Everybody knows about it, especially if you're into Cuban sandwiches. And if you read the reviews, they say that, you know, it's one of the best Cuban sandwiches in all of South Florida. So the reviews also say it has the best cheese pastries, and that it's a really good place to get authentic Cuban food. They just got a couple of rodents running around and some suspect people working in the back. That's it.
No, thank you. I'll pass. Y'all just let me know how it tastes. All right, y'all. A Florida woman was arrested after leaving Walmart without paying for her items because she thought the security guard was trying to holler at her. Catherine Eves has been charged with petty retail theft for the crime. What are your thoughts on this smooth criminal, Al?
It's a great excuse, but Ma, you're not that cute. You're not that cute, and you're not easy on the eye. I know that the security do be hollering at anything that got titties and an ass, but you know, this is especially the story says she actually was shopping or casing the joint for 3 hours. So, and she specifically went out of the tire department because she knew that in the tire department, she could get past security without paying. So, not gonna work. Go straight to jail.
Hugh, what are your thoughts on your
She don't need to go to jail. She need to go to a diversion program because based on her skin, she is on meth, okay? And that meth told her to walk out of that with that stuff. And this is how you know she on something bad and she need to go to a pre-trial diversion program because she only walked out. They said it was like $164. It was under $200 worth of stuff. Your bail is going to be more than the amount of stuff that you stole. It was not worth it. It just wasn't worth it. And the fact that the bail is going to be more than what she stole is evidentiary of the fact that her mind was not right. She needs to go to a drug program. See, y'all got to stop this. We got to reimagine what rehabilitation looks like because throwing people in jail, it just don't work. All right, we need to get creative and imaginative about how we rehabilitate people. She need to go to a drug program. Vote Quentin Latham, City Commission, seat number 3.
Can you imagine?
No, all the nightclubs will be open until 24-hour bar.
And would be everything would be legal, prostitution, everything would be.
Oh God.
We know, yes. All right, coming up next, we have your international tea for the evening, and later, find out why Miss Quad is feeling shaded by producers of Married to Medicine. Ooh, keep it locked. We'll be right back.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
TGIF.
Al and I, battle of the cleavage. You got the sluttiest shirt on tonight. I say Al wins.
Live and interactive.
Curvy girl said, Claudia's showing us her white side today. Coming to work with that wet hair. No, I had to do a test in a pool today.
Serving up all the tea.
Funky, how's the dating life going?
It's going to the next thing.
No, the soulmates want to know.
I'm like Oprah and Stedman. Y'all will never get my real business. So
on Fox Soul.
Welcome back to TGIF. Shout out to all the soulmates in the chat. Go ahead and hit that like button for us one time. All right, y'all, we are here to entertain, throw a little shade, and also inform you on stories that are trending around the world. So gather yourselves as we prepare to give you some of this international tea. Every time we get like a new graphic, it's just funny to me with the music. All right, y'all. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure you are privy to the horrific war that is taking place in Israel. Well, according to news reports, Israeli soldiers have discovered at least 40 dead babies, including some with their heads chopped off, which touches on the brutality swarming throughout the village. How do you guys feel about this tragic story?
I mean, it goes without saying, everybody feels horrible. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I am the most well-abreast person when it comes to the ins and outs of this war and this, biblical fight that these two sides are having. But it's sad. It needs to stop. I don't understand it. I'm not trying to understand it. In 2023, just to think that this is happening is very unfortunate. I've actually had to moderate my Instagram feed because I can't deal with the men on the ground crying as they're laying babies down in makeshift tents and makeshift hospitals or whatever, and seeing people bloodied is just ridiculous. And I don't know what the answer is. Normally the U.S. gets involved in every damn thing. I don't know if the answer is us, Britain, Hawaii, Montana, go over there and bomb the hell out of Hamas. I don't know what the answer is, but I want this thing to come to an end and peace be brought. Is that the Middle East? I was going to say peace to the Middle East.
Yeah, no, it is. So with this region, it's been hundreds of years, and they're fighting over Holy Land. They both feel they want to lay claim to the Holy Land, and they both feel like they have a right to it. And what I don't like about this is anyone that says anything positive about the Palestinian side is getting canceled. People are getting fired from jobs if they have any kind of sympathy or empathy for babies that are getting killed on that side. You can have empathy for the Israelis and the people of the Palestinians, and I think that's wrong to be one-sided. I really do. And damn you, people that are out there that are canceling folks that have the heart, the capacity to feel bad for people dying on both sides. Because like most wars, okay, and this is something I look at a lot. Like most wars, it's not the people of the city, it's not the citizens. It's always an extremist group. Hamas isn't Palestine. Hamas is an extreme group within. Just like that's like saying judging America by the Proud Boys, by the KKK. And we're like, wait, we ain't got nothing to do with that. We want to just live our lives. And I hate that about this. I hate that. I think they both have claims. They both need to be heard. But the way this is going on, and I'm not sure if 40 dead babies, there was talks about them being beheaded. And then people said, oh, we haven't seen video evidence. I don't care if they are, they're not. There's enough, like you said, Q, there's enough horrific video coming out of that region where I've seen torsos of, can't even tell what they are anymore. And little children, old, young men, it's horrible. War does not help either side except the people that are paying for the weapon, buying the weapons or selling the weapons. Al, what do you think about this?
I don't care which side you are on that. I strongly condemn. I strongly 100% condemn the attacks by Hamas against the Israeli civilians. I mean, I just do. I don't think babies should be casualties. I think that it's inhumane, and I think that's a discussion, Claudia, that you shared here. This division, this recent division, because the Palestinians have recently taken control. Now, remember, this conflict between Israel and Palestine has been going on since the 19th century, and the Jewish immigrants were favored by the British colony because they were Jewish. So the Israelis were favored. Now the Palestinians now have favor or have taken order or leadership, right? But the divide that we're seeing in our on our U.S. soil is what concerns me, in our universities and our non-governmental agencies. It's as deep as dividing within our own political parties to the point where we can't get things completed and done. And that's where the rub is for me. Like there could be, or what should not be a matter of debate for me in the short term, is the emerging humanitarian crisis in Gaza, right? At the end of the day, we should not be arguing about that. And ensuring the safe return of those Israeli hostages taken by Hamas should be a priority, period. Like you said, that is like a renegade group within a group. And it's just not right what they're doing. And it's simply not right with the lives that they're taking.
But it's being painted as Hamas versus the Jewish, like right. This small group representing the Palestinian people, and people are not speaking on, and I'm not an expert at this field, okay, but I'm gonna speak on a little bit that I do know. Let's look at some of the history of the stuff that's been going on to those people. It didn't just say, oh, let's go bomb them. Like, there's a deep-rooted history like that. It's very complicated, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the average citizen, I mean, actually, they're not even citizens because they don't have a state now, right? The people of Palestine. The average person there does not deserve this, just like both sides. The civilians do not deserve this. Let the armies fight it out. The soldiers fight it out. The politicians fight it out. But people are getting, regular folks just walking to go get groceries are getting incinerated. And I have, my heart breaks for both sides. They really do.
Right.
All right, y'all.
That you just making that comment though, Claudia, is very controversial now, right?
People be mad at me like right, somehow
like they like cancel you. We want her done. Shut her mouth. It's really sad.
Well, if I'm not here on Monday,
Monday we know what happened.
But if people, all this is like a religious war, right? And if people really are at their very base, their issues with this are there because they're deeply rooted of religious people, then what I'm saying should not offend you. We should have empathy for all humans, and not just those that align with your religious beliefs, if you really, truly are about that life. So in that regard, then I feel okay with what I'm saying. I feel bad for people that are getting murdered on both sides. All right, y'all, thank you for your input on this. And I love when we have these political conversations, and hopefully I'll see y'all on Monday. Switching gears, NASA is taking it up a notch and planning to build homes on the moon for ordinary civilians to reside. And they're hoping to have the first subdivision completed by 2024. Sign me up, because Earth is way too ghetto. Earlier this week, we reported on the launch of the first hotel in space that's set to open in 2025. What's really going on here? And are they trying to kick us off Earth? Q, what do you think about this? And would you go if they had a bar? Would a Honda cars be up there?
Sure. Would a Honda space down to the bar? Would a Honda spacecrafts be? Listen, as I said earlier in the week when we did the story about the hotel in space, I'm most definitely interested. I mean, what person would not be interested in space? However, just as long as Skid Row is still in existence, just as long as Miami has been listed as the #1 most expensive city where people are spending 40 to 50% of their income for housing, just as long as we still have housing needs and the ghetto here, just as long as we have a Section 8 waiting list from here to Timbuktu, just as long as, we have so many unhoused, unmedicated, everything people here on Earth, I will never be for this. I will never. Space exploration is an extracurricular activity you do after you've done all your homework. All right. And that's
the luxury.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we have not done all of our homework yet. How the hell we building stuff up in space, and people need a place to live down here, and it's far cheaper to build something for people to stay down here on Earth. It just you have to make it make sense to me.
It's not in the budget for poor people. It's only in the budget for rich people.
Q, Q, that actually makes a lot of sense. But you probably want to start voting then, because the United States has funded through our tax dollars $114 billion for space research and space studies that has led to this. Just last year, we gave $25 billion of U.S. tax money to space exploration. So the argument could be made, based on what you're saying, that we could at least take a couple of those $1 billion and correct some of the stuff that's going on in our economic situation in the United States right now. For me, if you're going to take my tax dollars to the tune in the last 5 years of $114 billion, then hell, you better put something on that damn moon, and you better put it on that moon quick. It better be in the form of a home, a hotel, or a recovery center or rehab. Like, dead ass. You should not be taking $114 billion out of the U.S. economy to fund something that we're just looking at and not doing anything with it.
How about take $2 billion, which is a drop in the bucket, and fix the goddamn water in Mississippi? Or in Flint, they still got brown water up there. All these black and brown neighborhoods, they still have dirty ass water, but we talk about this. So we can do what we want to. They just don't want to. And those are not the only two communities in America that have horrific water. It's very widespread with high levels of lead right here in a lot of black communities, because they're okay with that, because that leads to our young black boys being autistic, having all kinds of learning disabilities, and then it just further pushes the narrative. They have learning issues. Again, the source. All right, y'all. Why we all sounding all smart tonight? What's happening today on this Friday?
You put the alcohol down.
I drink it enough.
This is what happened when you unlock your better self. Go to another level. Go to another level. You're ascending, Claudia. You're ascending. Stick with me, baby. You have it all going on.
This boy been off poppers for 8 hours, and all of a sudden he's Socrates. All right, y'all. Keep it locked, because coming up next, Miss Quad opens up about the new cast of Married to Medicine. And later, Tommy Davidson gets candid about an encounter with Will Smith. Oh my God, poor Will Smith. He stays in the news. Let's talk about it when we return. We'll be back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
TGIF.
Al and I, battle of the cleavage. Who got the sluttiest shirt on tonight? I say Al wins.
Live and interactive.
Curvy girl said, Claudia's showing us her white side today. Coming to work with that wet hair. No, I had to do a test in a pool today.
Serving up all the tea.
Funky, how's the dating life going?
It's going on to the next thing.
No, the phonies want to know.
I'm like Oprah and Stedman. Y'all will never get my real business. So
on Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Welcome back to TGIF. Happy Friday. All right, y'all. During a recent interview with Dr. Heavenly, Married to Medicine star Miss Quad shared that she felt blindsided and disrespected after producers included her ex-husband and his new wife in the upcoming season. Q, I know you know these folks and you follow these shows. What are your thoughts on this?
My first school of thought in this moment is to just withdraw from this story altogether, because the response from everybody else is going to be, that's your friend. Me and Quad are close friends. We're very close friends, right?
Yeah, you and Quad are really good friends, and Al and Heavenly are really good friends.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
and Heavenly are friends too. Here's the thing.
Ooh, messy boots.
I tell, what can I say about this? It's funny when you're just this close to the situation.
Do you want me to take it?
No. Here's what I'll say. People have the right to feel whatever it is they want to feel, right? You may not agree with it. A lot of people I've seen in the comments are saying, well, girl, you're not even married to medicine. You know, I see a lot of people saying you use Dr. G. I see a lot of people saying if it wasn't for Dr. G, you wouldn't be on the show. I also see people saying, well, you know, you helped ice out Mariah, so whatever the case may be. And all of those things could be true. And yet she's still allowed to feel what it is she feels. I think that if anybody was part of an ensemble anything, and you got divorced and your ex was not a part of it, and then a season or two later, they bring your ex and his new wife on, anybody would feel a way. And we're not going to sit up here and pretend like they brought Dr. G and Sweet Tea on. Quad being there was not a factor. The whole point of bringing them on was to see the conflict. Backstory that you guys don't know, because I am friends with the ladies, is that the Toyas and the Simones of the world went out there and when they were not filming and purposely befriended this girl in an effort to get her on the show, to get at Quad, all right? Now, you know, those of y'all who don't like Quad, y'all gonna have y'all opinions, whatever the case may be, but that's just the true tea. Here is one thing that I will say, as far as Quad feeling disrespected by the producer. She's been doing this too long to think that those people will owe her anything. Let me tell you something. There's two people on earth you do not trust. That's a man and that's a reality TV producer. A reality television producer will do and tell you anything. Their loyalty is not to you. Their loyalty is to getting the scene and getting the episode. So I don't know why Quan feels disrespected, because they're doing whatever it is they need to do to try to get the ratings that they need to get.
1000%. I totally understand how she feel like, damn, why me? Because after so many years with the show, you feel like I have some kind of currency with y'all or some kind of like thing, but nope. It don't freaking matter. Of course they would jump on that. That's great TV. We love to. They always want to see that kind of stuff. But I understand the humanity in me is like, yeah, of course that would feel like shit. Al, what do you think about this?
That's very interesting that you asked me, Claudia, because I've been a part of this show since inception. And I think there's space for me to argue that I, obviously didn't have the best interaction with Miss Dr. Heavenly. And we know that, right? It's no secret here. So the fact that we're even covering her on my show at the top of this discussion, I wanted to say that I was super offended. Like, why are we talking or giving someone a platform, on my show who disrespected me? But after hearing you guys, that's what producers are supposed to do, right? We're supposed to cover information. We're supposed, whether we like it or not. And so here, you guys just helped me neutralize the thought that I had earlier about how I felt. Because honestly, I felt disrespected covering the story.
Really? I've had to sit here many times that we talked to people that have said horrific things about me in front of millions of people. And I know how you feel. It's like, then you get criticized with any little thing you do with your face. If you, they read into that and say you still mad. You in your feelings, like you're not.
No, but I just thought about it. When I read the story, I just took it very personal, right? And then just listening to Q's discussion, this is an example of this is the type of show that we do. And so I can't just take this personal because.
Well, in fairness, Al, in fairness, you're being a pansy because Dr. Heavenly's not the story. Quad's the story.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think they.
Yeah, I don't, maybe you're missing what I'm saying, but I get it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, that's why you love TGIF. To all the soulmates who tend to get mimosa wasted on the weekends, you may want to tread lightly due to a new rule that may affect your turn up. A local restaurant in Oakland will be charging a $50 vomit cleanup fee for customers who don't make it to the toilet. What are your thoughts on this additional charge? And do you think other restaurants should follow suit? You know who I'm going to first about this. The vomit and dookie expert, Funky Dineva, in public. What are your thoughts about this fee? Don't act bougie like you don't do this.
Listen, them hoes gonna have the time of their life trying to collect $50 from me. Okay, let's listen. With the way my body's set up, baby, when it got to come out, it got to come out. But here's the thing that I don't understand. I thought that waiters and bartenders were kind of supposed to be trained to look out for people who overindulge. It would seem to me that it would just be easier to not, keep bringing out people. Well, first of all, we all know at these bottomless mimosas things, y'all serve the cheapest damn champagne y'all can find. That's number one. If you sold better champagne, people probably wouldn't be throwing up. And then number two, use your discretion to say, okay, you know what? You've been overserved. We can't serve you anymore. And it happens all the time because it's happened to me before at bars. I'm gonna tell y'all. So I was sitting at Houston's one time with my homegirl, Kat, and we were just chilling. And me and Kat, we sit at bars and just talk. And we were sitting at Houston's for like 4 hours. And we were probably having a margarita, maybe every 30 minutes we were having a margarita. We weren't drunk, we weren't eating. But for the simple fact that we had sat there that long and we kept drinking, the girl told us she couldn't serve us no more. And we got offended as hell. I mean, called the manager over and the manager kind of explained to us the policy. And we were like, we get it, but we're not drunk. You know what I'm saying? We ended up getting like $250 in gift cards. So it all worked itself out. Ooh. But it would just seem to me that you wouldn't overpour versus telling somebody, because reality of the situation is, at the point in which I'm sick and throwing up, baby, I'm not worrying about paying no bill. I'm worrying about getting the hell up out of there.
Yeah. Al, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for also the Uber charging people for throwing up in Ubers, because having to ride after that is just disgusting. And it worked. It worked because, a lot of restaurants are saying since they've implemented these types of policies, the incidents have decreased drastically, and they've moved from inside of the bar to outside of the bar. So I think it's a good idea.
I was on a plane recently coming back from somewhere in the smaller plane, and someone threw up on the flight earlier, and the entire plane for the whole flight smelled like vomit. I was like, ugh, so I'm here for it. All right, y'all, Caitlyn Jenner's son, Brody Jenner, revealed that he used his wife's breast milk to top off his coffee when he runs out of almond milk. Brody said, it just looks so lumpy. Brody said, now I hear great things about breast milk. I hear it's very nutritious. I hear it's very delicious. I think it'll do. Are you guys here for this?
Absolutely.
Have you guys ever tried breast milk? Go ahead, Funky.
Absolutely. Now, when either of us sucked the titty with some milk in it, Claudia?
When I was born.
About 40 years ago. Yeah.
Listen, I breastfed till I was almost 4 years old, feels like. I swear I did.
Really? So you could talk when you was breastfeeding?
I swear, I remember being in church, tapping my mom on her shoulder saying, I need some titty. Yes. And she being so embarrassed. I mean, I'm exaggerating 4 years old, but I clearly was too old to be sucking on a titty because I was standing up. I was literally standing up. I was walking around. I probably had 1 or 2 words. I had to be close to like 3.
Being able to talk and verbalize and then
that you need some titty. Yeah. That's why I'm a breast man now. I swear. I think that's gotta be a part of it.
I'm gonna leave all this alone. Funky. Yeah, we're gonna go to commercial on that, okay? I'm gonna go throw up real quick. Coming up, Tommy Davidson opens up about an aggressive encounter with Will Smith. Will Smith, stay close. We'll be right back. Damn, Al. 3:40.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out.
You did not just tell me about the word Riz.
Riz.
Oh,
I gave y'all free Riz.
McMillan and Mara.
When you want to meet a woman or meet a guy, say something about the space.
Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Every Thursday.
Because if the person can't respond to an observation about the space that's clear, you talking to a dummy. Or someone you might take home, but not to your mama. And you know what I'm saying.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
Welcome back. All right, it seems like there's more tea surrounding Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's strange relationship. In a recent interview, Tommy Davidson shared that Will Smith tried to lay hands on him after he kissed Jada in the 1998 film Woo. What are your thoughts on this tea? Let's go to you first, Q. You look so amused and into this.
I just never, ever thought the day would come that I would want Will Smith and Jada Pinkett to go to that hotel that they're trying to build on the moon. I just never thought that day would come. I don't care. I am overhearing the ins and outs of their dysfunctional ass relationship. I just don't, to be honest with you, and I guess because they're in my age bracket and in my purview, I am more annoyed with this Will and Jada than I am with Krishan and Blueface for some reason. I can overlook Krishan and Blueface because them children's, but these are my people. I'm over it. I don't care.
I feel you on that one. Al, what do you think? Are you sick of it too?
I agree. I'm over it. Who cares? Keep it all to yourself or put it in a book.
And Tommy, why are you adding to the noise? Why?
Well, it's trending, so everyone's speaking on it, right? Including us. So then it breeds more content. I'm sick of hearing about Tupac being her soulmate that she had no chemistry with. I'm sick of hearing about all the people Will Smith tried to slap. I'm sick of hearing about her. I'm sick of her lying about that scar on the top of her head. I'm sick of all of it. All right. We have covered so many stories, crazy stories this week, so we like to end our show by handing out an award to a person who exemplifies pure delusion. This is our teabag of the week. Our teabag of the week goes to Candace Owens. What do you have to say about our honorary teabag of the week? Who'd like to go first? Go ahead, Al.
She's just a teabag. But I will tell you that if there's a way to handle a crowd, if there was a way to handle a crowd and be the most respectful at handling them disrespectfully, I would have to give her the award. Because how she read those kids at a place that they invited and paid for her to be there was classic.
I give myself the teabag because I was mad at myself for kind of agreeing with her with something.
Right, me too.
And I was like, damn, she right again.
Me too. That part.
No, listen, Candace.
She kind of ate this week. She kind of ate.
The funny thing about it is, to be real talk, she should get the Humanitarian of the Week award because what she said was the truth. Right? People have become too soft. You don't have to agree with the person, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the right to say what it is that they're saying. And you don't have, I'm victimized by your presence. Candace is right in this situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, her issue is never about being smart or dumb. She's not dumb.
No.
She just sometimes uses her powers for evil, I think. But I think she's a brilliant woman, just like Omarosa.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Funky Dineva. Okay, I hope y'all have a great Friday. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Stay tuned for Street Flavor. We'll see you next week, and we're gonna find out what shenanigans Al and Funky got into over the weekend.
I'm unlocking my better self. So
that's a lie. That's
have a good
lie.
weekend, soulmates.